Good morning, or good evening, good afternoon. I don't know when you're going to be watching this presentation, but either way, I'm here today to talk about sonnets, and I hope that's the correct pronunciation of this word. I'm going to be talking about sonnets. Um, they are a form of poetry, fixed normally, not normally, I think always with 14 lines, usually written in I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, iambic pentameter, which is a common rhythm in English poetry, where each line has 5 feet, and each foot consists of 2 syllables, an unstressed followed by a stressed one, so it creates a rhythm like that doom, so it creates total of 10 syllables per line and mimics a heartbeat. So it goes like da doom, da doom, da doom. Okay, so I had to research that. I didn't know what it was. And it's typically printed as a single stanza. So like everything together. It contains formal divisions defined by a rhyme scheme, compact, um, and it's originated in medieval Italy and French, and it dominated English poetry in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. And it is still very popular. It's still a very popular form of poetry, so it's still used nowadays, even though it is very old. Um, and there are two types of sonnets, which is the English and the Italian. They are both sonnets, of course, but the main difference is the structure. So in the English sonnets, we have the structure of three quatrains, which 4 lines each, and then one coupled, 2 lines. So we have like four, 3 times, and then the last 2 lines. Um, and the common rhyme scheme is A B C D C D A F F G G, and some variations still follow the 4 4 4 2 structure. And the Italian, it has a different structure. It's octave, so 8 lines, and then sessets, 6 lines. Typically, a rhyme scheme is A B B A B B A C D A C D E. And today I am going to be talking about Shakespearean or English sonnets. And the first one I'm going to talk about, it is literally Shakespearean. It's from William Shakespeare. Both of the sonnets I'm going to talk about today are actually Shakespearean. So the first one is Sonnet 21, No longer mourn for me when I am dead. So I'm going to read it together with you. Okay, so no longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then shall hear the surly solemn bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world with the vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hand that writ it, for I love you so, that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgot. If thinking on me, then should make you woe, oh, if, I say, you look upon this verse, when I perhaps compound it with clay, do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love even with my life decay, lest the wise world should look into your moan, and mock you with me after I am gone. So a very strong, very, very strong sonnet. It is a English slash Shakespearean um, sonnet, obviously, because it is written by William Shakespeare. But we can see that it is a Shakespearean sonnet because it is divided into 3 quatrains, 4 lines each, and one final 2 lines. So here we have 1 2 3 4, or 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2. Okay. Um, and I am going to talk about the sonnet, dividing it into some in like each part. So the first one, uh, the first part of the sonnet, the speaker is talking to an unnamed person, so we don't know who they are talking to, but it is likely a lover. And the speaker, the the person who's writing the poem, is very calm about dying. Even though there is a recognition that death causes sadness, the speaker doesn't show fear of leaving the world, um, because the world is portrayed as an unpleasant place full of worms, which would likely be the people from the world. Um, Even though the speaker seems very calm about dying, there is, in contrast, a very discontentment with the world in the first quatrain. Um, in the second one, the speaker shifts the attention to how the lover will feel after they die, and they make a request to that lover that mourning should be brief. It shouldn't last too long, um, because they love them so much and they don't want them to suffer. They want to prevent pain. So forgetting would be an act of kindness, not of disrespect. So uh, if the lover forgot them after a while after they died, they wouldn't take it as disrespect. They would take it as something good, because then the lover wouldn't suffer. And nay means no, and it is followed by a comma. So it creates a pause, so that highlights the emotion, the weight of the request. So it's like, no, don't mourn. So it is difficult to make the request. Or maybe it is that there's a need to reinforce it, a really strong need to reinforce it. And the sonnet follows the A B C D uh, rhyme scheme. We can see it here because not rhymes with forgot, and so rhymes with woe. I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce it. I hope so. Um, and in the third in the third part, um, the speaker again urges the lover to move on after death. But then they imagine the lover reading the poem while mourning. So there is this confusion here because the writer asks to be forgotten, but imagines his sonnet being read, and then if his sonnet is being read, that means that he is being remembered. So there is like this confusion. Does he really want to be forgotten? Is he just trying to be brave? Because if the writer is imagining someone, the lover, reading the sonnet, it means that they are going to be remembered. So there's this that confusion. And in the final part of the sonnet, um, the speaker asks the love, decay with life. So uh, in that line, they transform a physical experience, which is decaying, rotting, into an emotional experience. So love, memory, and the body are all subject to decay. So nothing can escape time and mortality, because death is only natural. And not only the body's death, but the love and the memory and everything in between. Um, and okay, sorry, I'm still here. Um, and then the final part of the sonnet, lest the wise world should look into your moan and mock you with me after I am gone. uh, and it's the final couplet. In the beginning, in the first lines, the aim was to comfort the lover. Now there is the idea that something negative could come from the lover not moving on in time. So there is this idea that the society around the lover would eventually judge, um, their mourning process, um, and mock you with me after I am gone. The line suggests that both the lover and the speaker's memory become objects of ridicule if the lover fails to move on in time. But it's that thing, it's like the mockery may not necessarily be literally the society laughing at that person who is mourning, because mourning is a very natural process to people. But it's the idea maybe that grief can make you feel exposed. Grief can make you feel watched and observed and judged. Even if that's not the reality, everything can feel very accusatory. I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce it. So is the lover necessarily going to be judged? I don't know, but they may feel like it because they are going to feel exposed. Because grief can do that to a person. And then we are coming to the second sonnet. As you can see, the theme that I chose for this presentation was mostly death, because I think it's a very interesting theme to work with, because it is very sensitive. So I think I thought it would be interesting to work with it. So the Sonnet 66, again, William Shakespeare, I like him a lot. So I wanted to work with him uh, in this presentation. So tired, I don't know if I say tired or tired, because there's the I don't know. Okay, so tired with all these, for restful death I cry. Okay. Tired with all these, for restful death I cry, as to behold desert a beggar born, and needy nothing trim in jollity, impurest faint unhappy forsorn, and gilded honor shamefully misplaced, and maiden virtue usually trumpeted, and rare perfection wrongfully disgraced, and strength by limping sway disabled, and art made tongue-tied by authority, and folly doctor-like, controlling skill, and simple truth miscalled simplicity, and captive good attending captain ill. Tired with all these, from this would I be gone. Save that, to die, I live my love alone. Oh, I love this one. Okay. So this sonnet is also English sonnet, a Shakespearean, obviously because it is from Shakespeare. But it is divided in three quatrains and one final couplet. We can see the difference here with the couplet more clearly, because we have and in the end there is tired and safe, so we can see it more clearly here. Um, so the speaker is talking about death again, but it's different because they are not talking to a loved one or to a family member or to a friend. They are talking maybe to whoever is reading, but they are announcing in the beginning of the sonnet that they are tired of everything. So they are clearly exhausted, emotionally, morally, and socially. The speaker longs for death because they want relief, they want rest, and the speaker starts to list complaints one after the other, and we are going to walk through each of these complaints. I'm not going to talk too much about each one of them because we don't have a lot of time, and I don't want to like talk too much. But we are going through those complaints because it's very interesting here. There is this idea of so much exhaustion that the speaker is just like and you know. So There's the repetitive use of ends creates not only rhythm because there's and, but also reinforces how exhausted the speaker is, right? So, and gilded honor shamefully misplaced. So the speaker is tired because honor is awarded based on appearance or given to people who don't deserve it. So misplaced. So the honor is misplaced, right? What else is tiring him? The maiden virtue rudely, oh, that's rudely shunted. The moral corruption. Okay, so society's role in exploiting and dishonoring innocence and right perfection wrongfully disgraced. So truth and goodness are being distorted by false judgment. So the good things are not being uh, rewarded as deserved and is being distorted. Okay, and shrank by limping, swayed, disabled. Weak governance. That one I had to look it up because I didn't really know what he was talking about, and I was wondering if he was talking about literally disabled people. And I was like, what's happening here? But it's likely talking about government being weak and not very useful for the population. And art, okay, and art made tongue-tied by authority. So artists are silenced, which is very interesting because this is a really old sonnet, but it is so close to reality because artists are often very silent in what happens around them. Like I could only think about artists, American artists who are saying nothing about ice, and they are very, very wrongfully used strength to oppress people. The artists are not saying anything. So back then, in Shakespearean time, the artists were also silenced by authority. Not necessarily by authority, but they are not saying anything about the injustice in the world and fully doctor-like controlling skill. So foolish people are compared to doctors, diagnosing and controlling those who are truly skilled. And simple truth miscalls simplicity. So corruption thrives, and it's distorting language and values. And captive good attending captain ill. So evil holds power over good, and it is taking over everything, according to the speaker. And in the end, oh, this is so cute. Tired of all of this, from this I would be gone. Save that to die, I leave my love alone. So the speaker wants to die, all right? Death is a release from injustice, right? But, oh, sorry, this is the wrong one. I'm gonna go back here. But if they die, they are going to leave their loved one. So they don't want to. They do, but they have only one thing keeping them alive, which is that if they die, they will leave their love alone. So even though the world is a very unjust place, the world is awful, um, it is making them upset, it is hurting them, but they love someone and they want to stay for them. So that's so cute, right? So that's my favorite one. That's my favorite sonnet. It is cute, but it is also very sad. Um, because there is only one thing worth staying for. But anyways, those were my two sonnets that I wanted to talk about. I was not very familiar with sonnets before I started to study them in this class, but I'm really glad I got to know more sonnets because I found them very interesting. And the rhythm is usually very beautiful, very good. When you're reading it, you feel like it makes sense. You feel like the rhythm is working. It goes smoothly, I think. And I think I talked too much. I think this is going to be over 10 minutes, so I apologize. But I think there was a lot to talk about. I didn't focus a lot on the literal structure because that's not my biggest strength. So I apologize in advance if there was not enough talking about structure. but I talked about what I saw, what I could understand from the sonnets. So thank you so much for your attention. And Hita, if you're watching this, I hope you feel better. And bye bye. Okay, and have a great day. Okay, stop. Okay.